New Jersey panel is going to hear a new case of a cop fired for using cannabis again, you guys. That's right. Nearly 2 weeks after a federal judge said he wouldn't weigh in yet on whether it's legal for New Jersey cops to use marijuana, the Civil Service Commission is set to decide the fate of another police officer. Adam, we need to move this. The teleprompter. That's right, you guys. The Civil Service Commission is set to decide on the fate of another police officer who was terminated for ingesting cannabis, you guys. That's right. On Wednesday, the commission is expected to hear the case of Mackenzie Riley, a Jersey City police officer fired in August of 2023 after a drug test showed his urine tested positive for cannabis. Riley is one of 5 Jersey City police officers fighting their terminations for cannabis use and seeking to dismiss a lawsuit Jersey City filed against the state in October that argues the federal ban on cannabis preempts the state law legalizing the substance, you guys. That's right. An administrative law judge has recommended the commission reverse Riley's termination, you guys. Look at that. New Jersey legalized cannabis back in 2021, and after the Marijuana Legalization Act went into effect, the state attorney general said that police officers cannot be disciplined for using marijuana legally and off-duty. That's right. When the state issued that memo, Jersey City Mayor Steve Fulop announced the city would defy the state and continue to bar its officers from using cannabis. Fulop is seeking the Democratic nomination for governor in 2025. I'm not surprised he's seeking the Democratic governor after he's trying to just impose his own views and whatnot, but whatever. Riley and Omar Polanco, Noran Mansour, and Montavaris Patton and Richie Lopez are the 5 cops named as defendants in the lawsuit, arguing they should be able to consume legal cannabis and hold their jobs as cops. The Civil Service Commission has already ordered the city to reinstate Mansour and Polanco, though it is unclear if the city has hired them back to their posts or not yet. In the lawsuit against New Jersey, attorneys for the city have argued that police officers are subject to a federal law that bans people from possessing firearms and ammunition if they use cannabis. That federal law, they say, preempts the state's marijuana legalization law. But the Civil Service Commission and administrative law judges have repeatedly found otherwise, you guys. The 5 officers and the Jersey City Police Officers Benevolent Association maintain the city has no standing to sue and claim the city filed in federal court only because they have been losing their ass off, apparently, in the state employment proceedings. The judge overseeing the lawsuit on August 2nd declined to step in, stating his findings, at least until all the officers fighting their termination have had their cases heard by the Civil Service Commission, you guys. Interesting. Man, oh man. Shout out to these cops fighting for their rights to own guns. I say keep it 2A strong and get these cops back on the job. But nonetheless, this is Jason Beck for the High at 9 News, and I can't wait to hear what y'all have to say about this.
Cops should smoke more weed, not less weed.
I mean,
I'll have a little compassion for those 2.6 black guys that they arrest. More than the white guys, right? Just silliness that, where cannabis is legal in 38 states and a cop can't smoke a joint at the end of the day.
I agree. I think that's crazy that they're not able to consume, and New Jersey wants to say that they're so proactive. But how about this police captain that is running under the Democratic Party to be governor of New Jersey?
I don't trust cops.
I don't think he has I mean, the only chance probably he has is being a cop in Jersey to win that seat, but I doubt that'll ever happen just because the political landscape there. But I mean, look, we say you can't smoke weed, but like we know very well, like alcohol is so rampant with police officers, and domestic abuse and violence is super high with specifically that demographic. So I mean, yeah, I agree with Todd. Smoke more weed, drink less alcohol.
Exactly. Solves lots of problems.
The C Word just threw in a big old super chat. Thank you guys so much. I guess I'm gonna maybe get some filet mignon today. So thanks. So I'm gonna upgrade the wagyu. Yes. The C Word says, "Yo, I can't figure out how to write a super chat that does not get struck down. If this one does not make it here, here is $2. Well, thank you so much, and that's a $4.99 super chat. So thank you so much, Mr. C.
Thank you.
We appreciate that very, very much.
Yes, indeed. And just for that, you get the triple air horn.
There we go. There we go. There we go.
Is the big problem that they're carrying guns and they don't want them smoking weed?
That's what they're trying. That's what they're trying to say. Is they're basically saying that federal law trumps state law, and even though the New Jersey says this, and they've had rulings in the thing that they're going to file in federal courts and hope for a favorable jury to basically trump the previous judgments.
But federal law trumps state law. But these people who are firing the police are actually trumping state law by having a local policy that's inconsistent with the state law.
You're right.
I mean,
you're right about
the truth
that,
is you can't fire a cop for hardly anything. I mean, terminating a law enforcement officer is like one of the hardest things to do from an HR perspective. You got 5 cops in this thing that are all saying, "Hey, we want our jobs," and there's no allegation that they've done anything incorrect while they were on duty at all.
Exactly.
I think the common denominator here is Trump. You know,
stop it! Stop it! Stop the cap, bro! Stop the cap.
No,
it's tough to fire a cop for even breaking into somebody's house and shooting them.
Seriously. It was cops, teachers, and Catholic priests, right? They do like mad, messed up things. You can't fire them. But Todd, this story that we've been covering like on multiple
we've been
levels,
covering this as it goes on.
Over a year now, these particular cops in their jurisdiction in New Jersey, they have to buy their own guns, which I love that idea. You know, if you're going to be using this shit like on the public, you need to be buying that. And the fact that they have to buy their own guns like makes them directly opposing federal law because if you want to smoke weed, like you shouldn't be able to buy a gun. You shouldn't be able to hold on to that gun.
I mean, you should be able to.
Maybe they should use some of that tax money and buy the cops some guns.
I agree with Saman.
Yeah, I think everybody should be able to carry a firearm, period. But
I'm with that.
According to federal law, I guess you can't.
Not those medical marijuana patients, though. They might go crazy.
Right?
Yeah. I just this troubles me because if this is a trend that occurs across the state, given the number of other states that have legal programs, it's going to have a real negative effect on the personal liberties and freedoms of cops in their off-duty hours, what they think they can do, and if they feel that they actually have some protections at a state level, if a local body can fire them anyway. Nobody wants to go through a lawsuit. Nobody wants to have to call their union and have to put a suit on and show up for court instead of being on their beat. And so this is a dangerous case, I think, because the rest of the world and the rest of the other states, the rest of the other cops are watching what's going to happen, and they're probably going to adjust accordingly.
Yeah, and not to mention all the moonlighting that cops do. I mean, they put themselves in more positions to have an incident where, you know, their use of whatever force they potentially use is at question and at risk because, you know, of their cannabis use. And what protections do they have outside of those working hours when they're moonlighting? They're still in uniform. I mean, like, there's so many implications. It's a really interesting story. We should keep looking at that one.
Oh yeah, we're definitely going to keep following this story. What you want to say something real quick, Rico, and then we're going to move on.
Yep. I'm just saying, like, this shows us how fucked up the system is because, you know, on a municipal level, they try to kick it all the way up to the federal level, and they say like, oh, there's a state issue. They drop it back down to the state, and now the state's now using the federal rules to rule on this. This is a bunch of bullshit, and this is why I say, burn it all fucking down.
You know, back in the day when Terrence Hallinan was the district attorney in San Francisco, Marty Halloran and the other guy that was the head of the narcotics department, when they would still bust people for cannabis and whatnot, they would make this same assertion that they swore an oath to the Constitution to uphold federal law as well as state law. So therefore, they were upholding federal law when they would raid medical cannabis patients and things like that back in the day. So this is not an argument that is like brand new or anything else like that.